Hey, fifth grade. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's had a good week. I feel like I haven't talked to you all in a really, really long time, but just a little reminder, our Google Meet times are changing, so we're going to have them on Wednesday and Thursday now. The times will stay the same. It will still be from 10 a.m. to 10:30. However, they're just going to be different. Instead of Monday and Wednesday, we're going to be doing Wednesday and Thursday now. So make sure that you remember those new times and hop on if you need any help. So yeah, I'm just going to get right into the lesson. So today we had module 5, lesson 18. So let's just get right into it. So what we had to do here was kind of like what we've been doing for the past week or so now. I think it's been about a week or so, a little bit over a week. So this time we are learning and, talking about all the attributes of a rhombus. So this was your assignment today, and it was to draw figures in the box with the attributes listed. So in this one, we are drawing rhombuses. So for A in the box, it says a rhombus with no right angle. So that means that none of the angles are going to be 90 degrees. So what I have here is just my rhombus, my very poorly drawn rhombus. I'm sure you can all draw a better rhombus than me. You all know I am not good at drawing. Even with a ruler, I can't even get to draw the shape right. I don't know. Not artistic. But anyway, here, I'll point with my pen. So I drew my rhombus and none of them had 90-degree angles. So I said that this was 60. This one was 120. This one was also 120. And this one was 60. So as you can see, the opposite angles are the same. So see how they're opposite of each other? They're the same. Or sorry, these two opposite from each other, and then these two opposite from each other. So they are the same. For B, this one says a rectangle with not all sides equal. So this means that the sides, obviously, they're not going to be all the same. So for this one, we have these side lengths are different from these two. And then obviously in a rectangle or a square, we know that our angles are going to be 90 degrees. So I have 90 degrees in each one. Now for C, it says a rhombus with one right angle. For this one, I just drew a square and I just put 90 degrees in each one. It was just easier that way. And then for D, it says a rectangle with all sides equal. So this means that all the lengths of the four sides, they're going to be the same. And that means that the angles will be the same as well. So for this one, I just used a ruler to draw it out. And this side is the same. These two sides are the same length as these two sides. And then all four angles are 90 degrees. So that is how I did the first part of lesson 18. And now if you flip to the back, we have a bunch of the questions that we've been answering for the past, like I said, a week or so, maybe a little bit over a week. So question 3 says to draw a rhombus and rectangle below. And then it tells us to draw the diagonals and then measure the lengths and then record the measurement on the figure. And then it also tells us to measure the length of each segment of the diagonals from the vertex, which is where they intersect, or from the vertex where it starts to the intersection, which is where they cross. Sorry, my bad. Point of the diagonals. And then it says using a marker or crayon, color the segment that have the same length. Use a different color for each length. I just used arrows to show you this. So for the first one, I drew my rhombus, and I said that this part right here was 1 3/4 inches. Like I said, I didn't color, I just drew the arrows. It was just easier that way, but if you colored, that's awesome. So I did 1 3/4, and then right here I have 1 inch for this part right here. So these are two totally different lengths, as you can see. And now I drew my big rectangle, and for this one, these were the same. So the lengths of each segment on the diagonals from the vertex to the intersection, they were the same. So I have 2 1/4 right here, 2 1/4 right here, which also means that this one down here would be 2 1/4, and this one is also 2 1/4. So that's what that one is. And now this right here wasn't, I just crossed it out. These are the directions from right there. And then 4A says to list the properties that are shared by all of the rhombuses that you worked with today. So we're going to be talking about, obviously, the properties of a rhombus. So we've been doing this with, let's see, what have we worked with? We worked with parallelograms, we've worked with trapezoids, so you know a little bit of information from kind of each one now. So For the properties that I listed, I said that the opposite sides are parallel. So as you can see right here, opposite sides, they are parallel. And even if you were, this one's a really bad example, but because I drew it so poorly, but these would be parallel, opposite sides, parallel. And then I said that they have 4 congruent, and congruent is just another word for equal, so sides. So they have 4 equal sides. And then I said that their diagonals are perpendicular bisectors, and that all 4 angles equal 360. So if you were to take all of your angle measures in each of these, and if you wanted to test it out yourself, you could do all 4, add up all 4 angles. It's going to give you 360 degrees. So for 4B, it says to list the properties that are shared by all of the rectangles that you worked with today. So now we're talking about rectangles. For rectangles, we said their opposite sides are parallel, so that's the same as a rhombus. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. And then it says that opposite sides are equal in length, so that means that, let's take this one for example. These 2 opposite sides, they're equal in length, okay? So that's all that means. And then it says that it has 4 right angles. So as we can see on this one that we drew right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 right angles, which equals 90 degrees. And then we said that the diagonals are equal and they bisect each other. So that's what I put for those. And then C says, when can a trapezoid be called a rhombus? It can't. It can never be called a rhombus. A trapezoid is not a rhombus. A rhombus is just its own thing. And then D says, when can a parallelogram also be called a rectangle? So a parallelogram can be called a rectangle, but the only time that it can be called a rectangle is when all 4 angles equal 90 degrees. And you've seen that example on some of the past lessons that we've done. And then last but certainly not least, E says, when can a quadrilateral be called a rhombus? So we know when a quadrilateral, like quad is 4, so we know 4 sides, can be called a rhombus. And the answer to this one would be when all 4 sides are equal in length. So all 4 sides need to be equal in length. Okay, so that was your lesson for today. Again, it was module 5, lesson 18. It was just like what we've been working with, except we're just doing different shapes and learning the properties and all of the attributes of them. So yeah, that was it for today. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. And don't forget to come on the Google Meet. It is going to be from 10 to 10:30. Again, we are moving that to Wednesdays and Thursdays now. So I hope to see everybody there on Thursday. I think we're going to be doing a fun little Jeopardy game. So be sure to tune in for that. You'll get some good review and some good practice with that. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a good day.